idea with this practice is called a purification practice. In the Tibetan Buddhist worldview, we engage in actions which create karmas. And those actions, their natural consequence, or how they'll ripen, is positive. We call that a good karma. And some of those actions, the natural consequence, the ripening of that action, is unsustainable, undesirable, unwise. We call those bad karmas. So when we're doing a purification practice, we are examining those actions which are unsustainable in the short term and in the long term. They're unsustainable for what reason? Because they harm ourselves, or they harm other beings. If they harm ourselves, we can talk about like direct harm, like harm my body, harm my psyche, my psychology, or something along those lines. And that's one level of harm. And we can talk about others. We can harm their bodies, their psyches, and so forth. And then, but even more crucially, we harm our spiritual progress. We harm their spiritual progress. We harm if we harm our spiritual progress, then necessarily we harm our ability to help people. We limit our ability to benefit people. So we don't want to do that. So we have these purification practices. The Tibetan worldview also, believes in reincarnation. So the idea is that we've engaged in actions since limitless, beginningless time, they say. So stretching out into very distant past. So these practices are considered to help us address all these actions we know we've done, actions we are just assuming we've done, in order to clean out our minds, if you will, like you would weed a garden or something, so we can prepare the soil so that we can engage in good positive qualities in people. So this is the cleaning up practice. A lot of this is the cleaning up practice. This requires us to be aware of ourselves, to have regret for the actions we've engaged in, to engage in the actual practice itself, and then to dedicate ourselves to a bigger, broader goal, a big spiritual goal. And so we'll do all those 4 parts in this ritual. Okay, so that's a little bit of explanation. I've spoken too much. So in the space, so we'll just do the practice. So in the space before you, you imagine the sky is filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And by definition, they have limitless compassion. And by definition, they understand reality as it is. And so we use the phrase understands emptiness. That's kind of the phrase we use, but understands reality as it is. Because they have those 2 things, limitless compassion and understand reality as it is, they're able to benefit limitless beings perfectly. So you imagine those beings are in the space before you. And surrounding you are universal living beings. You imagine that they're universal living beings. They're all in the form of humans, and they stretch out in all directions into infinity. And you are taking responsibility to lead them in this practice. You're imagining that you're leading them in this practice. Even though I'm doing a lot of the talking, you're leading them in the practice. And you think to yourself, if I don't change my negative habits, my unsustainable habits. I will suffer limitlessly. Others will suffer limitlessly. And I'll never be able to help them accomplish their spiritual goals. But these beings before me, they have eliminated their negative habits, and they do benefit beings perfectly. So I can take refuge in them. I can seek them out for support as symbols, their teachings, and so forth. So we develop a mind of faith or trust. The classic word we use is refuge. We develop a mind of refuge, but faith or trust in these beings. And then we say a prayer, which I'll do the Tibetan prayer. You just think, I take refuge in these beings, and may all the good things that I do ripen in Buddhahood eventually, so I can benefit others and free them from suffering. So I'll do the prayer. Zongye Joran Zogye Jonam Chenjo Bardu Dani Gyabzo Chi Dagi Jenso Gibe Zonam Jola Benju Zongye Jubash Zongye Joran Zogye Jonam Chenjo Bardu Dani Gyabzo Chi Dagi Jenso Gibe Zonam Jola Benju Zongye Jubash Zongye Joran Zogye Jonam Chanchu Bardu Dani Gyabzo Ji Dagi Shanso Gibe Sunampi Jola Venture Samye Juba Sho. Then you develop a mind of regret. So it's just a wish you hadn't engaged in a negative action because you understand its consequences, that it harms you, it harms others, it makes it difficult for you to progress spiritually, it makes it difficult for others. It's not guilt, it's not shame. It's just an understanding, regret. I just wish I hadn't done that. I just wish I hadn't done that. And so this is really kind of the key component of this practice. So you think of all the negative actions you've done. So you've killed things, lied, stolen, misused your sexuality, misused intoxicants, those are the 5 lay vows. Malice, hateful thoughts towards others, gossip, divisive speech, you're creating problems for people, wrong views, anything you can think of. And you just think, I regret that, I regret that, I regret that, I regret that. And then you think, above the crown of your head, seated upon a lotus and moon seat, are Vajrasattva, father and mother. Their bodies are white, each has one face and two arms. He holds a dorje and bell, she a curved knife and skull cup. They are embracing each other. The father is adorned with 6 mudras, the mother with 5. He sits in the Vajra posture, and she in the lotus. Vajrasattva is your root guru, the holy mind of all the Buddhas, the Dharmakaya, who out of his or her unbearable compassion, which embraces me and all other sentient beings, appears in this form to purify you and all others. On a moon disk at Vajrasattva's heart stands a hum, encircled by a garland of the 100-syllable mantra. A powerful stream of white nectar flows from the hum and mantra garland, and you are cleansed of all sickness, spirit harm, negative karma, and obscurations. So you keep that visualization, and then you recite the mantra. And yeah, you set the mantra, the visualization. Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA DIDO ME SUTO ME ANURAKTO ME SARVA ME SARVA TSAME SHRIYAM KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA VAJRA MAHA SAMAYA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA DIDO TATHAGATA SUPO ANURAKTO ME SARVA SHRIYAM KURU SARVA TATHAGATA VAJRA MAHA SAMAYA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA DIDO SUPO ANURAKTO ME SARVA SHRIYAM KURU BHAGAVAN SARVA TATHAGATA VAJRA MAHA SAMAYA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA DIDO SUPO ANURAKTO ME SARVA KURU BHAGAVAN SARVA TATHAGATA VAJRA MAHA SAMAYA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA SUPO ANURAKTO ME SARVA SHRIYAM KURU BHAGAVAN SARVA TATHAGATA VAJRA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA SARVA SHRIYAM KURU BHAGAVAN SARVA TATHAGATA VAJRA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA SARVA SHRIYAM KURU BHAGAVAN SARVA TATHAGATA VAJRA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA ANURAKTO ME SARVA SHRIYAM KURU BHAGAVAN SARVA TATHAGATA VAJRA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA ANURAKTO ME SARVA SHRIYAM KURU BHAGAVAN SARVA TATHAGATA VAJRA Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam SAMAYA Sijin Guru Bhagavan Sarvadagata Vajramayam Savajra Om Sava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasini Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasini Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasini Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasini Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru Bhagavan TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Manupalaya Vajrasattva TITHA Jidameva Sutagayam Meva Subhagayam Meva ANURAKTO Meva Sarasiti Meva Sarakam Sijin Guru TATHAGATA Vajrapami Vajrasava Om De Om Vajrasattva Samaya Vajrasattva DENOPHA DIDO MAHA SUTO MAHA SUPO MAHA ANURAKTO MAHA SARVA MAHA SARVA SHRIYAM KURU Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA DIDO MAHA SUTO MAHA SUPO MAHA ANURAKTO MAHA SARVA MAHA SHRIYAM KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA VAJRA So that's the long mantra. And the short mantra is Om Vajrasattva Om Vajrasattva Om Vajrasattva Om Vajrasattva Om Vajrasattva Om Vajrasattva. And then think from the crown of your head, Guru Vajrasattva says, son or daughter of the race, your negativities, obscurations, and broken and damaged pledges have been completely purified. Think, before Guru Vajrasattva, I vow never again to commit those negative actions from which I can easily abstain. And not to commit for a day, an hour, or at least a few seconds, those negative actions from which I find it difficult to abstain. And then imagine Guru Vajrasattva mother extremely pleased with you refraining from those actions in realistic terms. And you imagine that a replica of Vajrasattva father and mother descends to the crown of your head and the heads of all those beings around you. And the Guru, Vajrasattva father and mother dissolve into light. The light descends to the crowns of heads to the kind of third eye region, filling the body with white light, purifying all negativities associated with the body. And then descends to the throat, filling the body with red light, purifying all negativity associated with speech. And then descends to the center of your chest, filling your body with blue light, purifying all negativity associated with the mind. And imagine all those colors are happening at once. Red, white, blue, or, white, red, blue. And then imagine that all these bodies are crystal clear, like crystal, clear like crystal, totally purified of any suffering, negativities. Imagine there's no suffering anywhere in the universe because all beings have been purified in this way. And then think you've engaged in all this energy, all this energy to be here. So you've logged in and taken a risk and been brave with people and sat through the practice. So all that energy goes to waste if it doesn't have a broader goal. So you think you dedicate, we call it dedicate the merit. So all this positive energy, dedicate the merit. So you can dedicate to long lives of all spiritual teachers. May their every wish be fulfilled. May we always see the best in their qualities. And from our side, may we always serve them. And try and help fulfill their spiritual wishes, And then may we never be separated from the path of renunciation, bodhicitta, pure emptiness in 2 stages of tantric practice. May all those that think about us remember us, dream of, speak to us, hear our voices, see our bodies, hear our images, speak our names, touch our bodies, like us, love us, hate us, hurt us, up to the point of killing us. May they never experience any kind of suffering. May they have every kind of happiness. May all the environmental problems of this earth instantly cease, in order that those who practice spiritual paths may begin to practice peace. Those who have to hear spiritual paths may hear them peace. Those who are about to begin may begin in peace. May all quarreling, fighting, famines, wars, may all these kinds of things instantly cease. May all non-human beings, animals, insects, fish, and all other kinds of things, may they be free from every kind of suffering, have every kind of happiness. May everyone have every mundane need be met. Food, shelter, medicine, companionship, and these kinds of things. May they have everything they need. May everyone's spiritual goals be met. May they be able to do their practices, memorize, build statues, become nuns and monks, and bait, and all these kinds of things. May, if we ever have an opportunity to help someone accomplish their mundane or super mundane goals, then may not hesitate and do the best we can help without hesitation. May institutions that support human spiritual development, may they have every resource they need. And as we've done this practice, many people have died, begun the process of dying, or have found out that they will die, soon, relatively soon. May they be instantly healed, and if they cannot be healed, then may they transition smoothly and become Buddhas in the Bardo, and if that's not possible, they be reborn humans and become Buddhas then. May they meet Mahayana spiritual teachers, become Buddhas then. And then at the very least, no matter what, whether we become Buddhist or not, stay Buddhist, whatever happens in our lives, that at the very least, may we always have a kind, warm, gentle heart. Because at the very least, this is what all this practice, all this chanting, all this stuff is for. It's for us to all change to become better people, Okay, so it's 8:46. Thank you so much. It's nice to see you. Me too. Nice to meet you, Shayla, Barbara.